Welcome, everyone. We're going to have a brand new segment for you today called Informative Moments with Matthew Currin.
There you go.
Take it away, Matt.
Hey, thanks for doing this. What we're going to do with these, we're going to pop on as much as we possibly can. I've talked Doc into it. You know, he's from the Navy. I'm from the Marine Corps. So I was like, look, sailor, this is what we're going to do.
Here we go.
And, little things about Convene that I think we can come on. I've talked him into doing it with me from time to time and just kind of explain, what Convene is, why it's different, little segment. So here we go. Let's go. What we got? What
Here we go. So you wrote a little blog, which I happen to read, and if I can get to the right screen, we'd be cooking with gas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you wrote this nice blog. It's a 2-page blog. It's pretty good. It didn't have crayon in it, which kind of threw me off a little bit. But
crayon.
Yeah, I was able to get through it. But one of the very first topics you discuss in your blog is a paradigm shift in learning. And without reading verbatim, what makes Convene communities different than the other platforms that are out there?
So great question. Great writer of that blog in red crayon. But now what do I mean by that? It's that, Convene is different. We are technically a learning management system. The idea is that we want people to come in and engage in a learning process and a shared learning process and, collaborate with one another. And that's just kind of it. If you look at most learning management systems out there, the different ones, what do they talk about or what do they do? They have a 10-step video course and I'm sitting there watching videos that you're putting out, Doc, and you're explaining to me how to run a podcast. And that's all I'm getting. I'm not getting that interaction with you. And I'm not getting that interaction with other people who are wanting to create a podcast. And so what Convene does is it takes it to a different level. We do things in groups, not just in a training module. And we allow you to teach and to talk about whatever you're passionate about, whatever your topic is, but we allow your audience to be engaged with you and what you're doing and be a part of it. If you talk about it, people want to be part of things nowadays. They want to be in that. But in most learning management systems, most platforms, I don't even get to interact with you. I get to watch your videos and that's it. Yeah, learning might take place, but what if I have a question for you? What kind of mic should I buy? For example, how do I get that information from you if it's not part of the class?
So what you're saying is there's definitely positive interaction amongst all members in the group.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, again, want to be seen, heard, validated. They want to be part of it, So inside the group, we put things in there like blogs, like this is what this one is. It's a blog with a video included into it. We put discussion boards where not only is it a discussion board that you're putting out, it's me coming in as one of your participants, one of your members, and asking questions and engaging. And keep in mind, you're not the only expert. Yes, you might be leading the charge. You might be the one that's out front, but other people that come into your group bring a lot of expertise to it. So that shared learning process can take place. And we also do that inside of what we call experiences and all that. We can talk about that later.
You are jumping ahead, sir.
I know. That's why I said we talk about that later.
Stealing my thunder because you sort of sounded like you were talking about some peer-to-peer learning there for half a second.
Absolutely. Peer-to-peer learning is important. Peer-to-peer learning, everybody know that watches, I'm a counselor, right? So peer-to-peer counseling is important. Peer-to-peer learning is important. One of the things that we talk about within Convene communities is that we're not walking alone, that, there's other people going through the same things that we're going through. So if you take some topics that we address or people address inside of Convene, that peer-to-peer learning is important. I always use the example. It's like we're sitting around the table and we're, let's say we're both parents, right? So we're sitting around the table. In fact, we just had a talk, a few minutes ago and how old's your daughter? My daughter, is this. And it's like me sitting there and saying, hey, Doc, if you're in this situation with your daughter, how would you handle it? Well, that's what we do in Convene. We might write an experience about parenting. And then inside of that, there's that collaborative learning, that peer-to-peer, where people can say, oh, I've been through that. I know what you're talking about. Do this or don't do this.
What if you're too embarrassed?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm glad you brought that up. It's like one of the things is you don't have to share your dirt inside of Convene. We have a lot of anonymity. You can go into discussion boards and put things anonymous. That's big and different inside of and so that than other platforms. But the other thing inside of experiences, when you're answering those questions, you're answering anonymous. And people might say, well, that's great, but how do you protect that? Well, I've never seen one negative thing go on in Convene because we're all there for a common reason. If we're talking about parenting, we're there to contribute. We're there to be a part of it. And so people are very positive in Convene. And again, that's a big differentiator. But I can go into Convene as the creator founder of Convene. And if I have something on my mind, I can post a discussion board, for example, anonymously. And guess what's going to happen? People are going to come to that discussion board and they're going to either answer as themselves or answer anonymously and rally around whatever that topic is. Again, important because we're all there. We call ourselves, you can see it there, a platform with a purpose. We're there to support each other.
Speaking of anonymity, hi, Kate.
Hey, Kate.
Just want to say hi. Blow her anonymity there right out the water.
Yeah, that's right.
I've heard you say this many times, and I really like the analogy of Convene Communities is a shopping mall. Mm-hmm. And you have all the little stores, different stores. Everything's different, right? There's not the same store in the mall, but they're all different, but they're all under one roof. Yeah. And it really kind of leads me into your bullet point of building a supportive ecosystem.
Yeah, correct. So what does that mean? Build a supportive ecosystem. Well, first and foremost, the Convene Communities houses a bunch of different types of communities. So we have parenting, we have young adult teens, we have things that have to do with learning how to trade stocks. We have different sports in there. We have somebody that teaches Social Security and disability benefits. The list goes on and on and on. And we're always looking for other people to come in and create, different types of communities. Well, inside of those communities, one of the cool things is you can have different groups. And so, for example, in the health and wellness community there, people can come in the health and wellness community, different, people do all kinds of different things in health and wellness. Maybe they're, teaching strength and fitness. Maybe they're teaching yoga. Maybe they're teaching all kinds of different topics. Well, it's like going into the store, the sporting goods store, let's say in the mall. I might go into the sporting goods store. You might walk in with me. Well, you're very into camping. You might go to the camping section. I might be into baseball. So I'm going to go over to the baseball section. So we go and gravitate to the different places that we like, but it might fall underneath that store inside of that mall. So we use the analogy of the mall because when you walk into the mall, which is Convene, you go into all the different communities. And inside of the communities, that's like the stores inside of Convene. And then inside of the stores, they have groups. And inside of those groups, they have the different departments or different sections inside of that. Now you can take that one step lower and you could say, well, I'm going to go into the parenting community. And when I go into that parenting community, that is like another mall. And inside of that, you have groups and people are going to go, what am I there for? Am I there for, a mother daughter? Am I there for, father son? Am I there for some emotional counseling or whatever it might be? The topic, you're going to go where you fit, and what you're looking for. And you're going to start finding other places as well inside of that mall. Once I leave that parenting store, I might go find, another store. And so it's pretty cool because it becomes this big, huge resource, this big, huge ecosystem where you can find what you need or create what you want.
Rhetorically asking the question, what am I here for or whatnot, which really leads me into your tailored learning paths. Mm-hmm. Because if one doesn't exactly know what they need right off the bat, there's plenty of folks in the community that can help guide them there. And then once we discover what their needs or wants are, then that's when you can tailor these learning paths for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you can kind of drive people into what they need, what kind of interaction they want. We do things different. If you really want to go back, here I am a Marine, but I'm pretty smart, I know, I thought you'd laugh at that.
Wait.
This is exactly. This is built off adult learning theory. The basis of Convene is built off of things that I did in the Marine Corps in the V-22 Osprey program. And we do things differently. There's a methodology behind when people interact and people go through things with inside of Convene, because you learn more and you take more in if you go through an interactive learning process. And so each experience, we'll talk about experiences, that's like a training inside of it. It could be a course, whatever you want to call it. We call it an experience because that's how we learn. We learn through experience. And so as you go in, the people that are creating the content, creating the learning, again, it's not just a video. I can put videos in there. I can put write-ups in there. I can add documents in there inside of experience. I can add open-ended questions that the people, when they answered, are anonymous. I can come back in and put a lesson learned. And that lesson learned is very important because you come back and you say, hey, this is what I did. This is what went right. This is what went wrong. And I can add more documents in there. Hey, it's the teacher standing up at the end of class and going, hey, here's the takeaways. Here's the takeaways from what was in here. And so there's a lot of different things where you can tailor it, you can make it so it fits people and it fits the situation that you're talking about. It's different. And you have to get in there and you have to learn and understand what we're talking about. But it really, once people latch on and they understand, yeah, they're off and running because the people like it once they get used to it.
It's a fantastic organization, fantastic group, but it's limited only to folks in the United States, correct?
No,
No?
you can go anywhere. This is all over the place. It's web based, so it doesn't matter where you're at. All over the world, we can start creating stuff and putting stuff in there. And again, the goal is that, hey, can we reach out? Can we do what we need to do to help our fellow mankind and do things in support? And you don't see that often in other types of platforms. Again, we can throw out all the other social media. There are social media type things inside of Convene. The discussion boards being the main thing and the experiences and all that. But yeah, we're here to support each other. You don't see the negative inside of Convene because this is what we're doing. It is that platform where we're really trying to make a difference. And we're looking for people who want to make a difference. That's the key thing.
Well, I think the platform with a purpose says it all because people are coming there with a purpose. And that purpose is not drama. If you want drama, go back to Facebook. But it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. What I really like about it is that you will get as much feedback as you want, or as little as you want.
Yeah, I had a great call this morning with Amy Krause, one of the people that has a group inside of Convene. She goes around the country. This is what Amy does. She's a retired teacher. And she goes around the country and speaks at different elementary schools and middle schools. And she talks about different topics like bullying, like, the anxiety things that are going on amongst our kids. She talks about all these great things that she saw as a teacher, but she also relates it back to when she was younger. And we were talking about it and she's like, well, what makes it work for some people? Why are they, other people being more successful than others? And what are they doing? And honestly, it's what you put into it. It's just like what you said and the feedback that you get. What's different about Convene is that you need to create collaborative communities. It's not, using another military term for us, it's not, you're not just going to create some content and fire and forget, and hopefully that people see it. Your job is to interact and connect with your members and to create content based off of their needs and the feedback that you get. And that's where the magic starts happening, because if you're doing, podcasts or you're doing interactive groups, on Zoom or whatever it is you're doing, you're building that into that content into those groups, and people are really growing, but you're getting feedback on what's working or what's not working. And that's key in the process. You can do surveys inside of Convene. There's no limit to what we put in there.
It's a great platform. It took me a while to warm up to it, but that's because I'm not real smart.
Yeah,
but
you're Navy.
Well, that's true. The smarter half of the Department of the Navy, but that's all right. And then once I figured out I didn't have to write with crayon on the screen, I was good.
That's right.
Because, I identify more as a Marine than I do as a sailor.
Exactly.
But
that's why we call you Doc, right?
that's why I'm touched in the head. But anyway, no, this has been great. And I would be remiss if I didn't give Amy a shout out for being from the Lou. Whoop, whoop,
Yes,
314. That's right.
There you go. That's right.
But yeah, so where are you going to put this blog at? Because I highly recommend that folks read it.
Yeah, so the blog will go inside of the Convene communities. Again, every community, every group, look at our 30 minutes. That's also, but every community, every group has the ability to have blogs in it. So this will go inside of the Convene community. Doc, if you don't mind, put the join link up there. Are you quick enough to do
Well,
it?
it would. Yeah, give me a second because it's going to go.
Yeah, so it's inside of the Convene community. If you want to join, please click the QR link that Doc may put up there. You might get
Yep.
it, you might
One
not.
second. Calm down.
Um, but go in there and you'll be able to start to see the Convene community is the main community, but it's really the community where a lot of collaboration interaction goes on. And in that collaboration interaction, you can learn what other people are doing, learn how to use the platform, um, learn, really what's going on and why we're doing what we're doing inside of Convene. So there's all the classes, all the videos on how to use it. That's my community, but that's my job. My job is to teach people how to use it, teach people how to succeed. I have a coaching group in there where people can work with me one-on-one and work with other people, like we just talked about Kate and Amy and other people that are, watching this right now, and learn from them. We have Monday night 7 o'clock call, which is great because and then an 8 o'clock call for people who are interested in new members. But this is your way to start meeting the people who are being successful. It's not just about talking to me, it's about talking to you, it's about talking to Eugene Brown and Jeff Bateson and all the other great people that are inside of Convene who are doing wonderful things. They'll share with you because they want you to succeed.
For sure. Yeah. No one here is what I've really enjoyed about this platform is no one is really out for only themselves.
Yeah.
Everyone's here to help everyone else.
That's right. That's right. We really are because, hey, one, there's enough business to go around for everybody to find business. And two, people do things in a different way. I'll give it to you. We mentioned Amy and we mentioned Kate, right? They're a little bit, somewhat, not really in the same space, but sort of. They're both community leaders for Uniquely Yours and Uniquely You, the parenting and young adult teen community. But Amy is a former teacher who goes into schools and does her thing. Well, Kate is a pediatric PA who goes in and focuses a little bit more on the mental health side of it from her perspective and her side of having been a PA, and works in bringing that faith based also into that, which is great. So there's enough to go around. That they're not in the same space, but they do talk about some of the same things, but they both support each other tremendously, which is awesome.
Speaking of faith based,
Mhm.
when are you legally changing your name to David Koresh?
Negative. Oh, gosh.
Grow your hair out, get some
Yeah,
glasses, play guitar. Hey,
yeah.
we got a full fledged, what do you call it, cult here going on.
Yeah, whatever. You're crazy. You're funny. You're funny. Yeah.
I joke, but I wouldn't be doing all this stuff with you if I didn't believe in the platform.
Well, it is. It is. Okay, we're different. I mean, we are different than anything that's out there, which is really, really cool to me. And you got to come in. We're a family. That's what's so cool about it is we are a true family. We had a thing called Convene 23 last year, and everybody came in. You were there. You did a lot of the video and stuff. But we had people who are really part of Convene that got up on stage. They told their stories, and everybody was there to support them in that process and telling their stories. So we're doing good things and we're making a difference in people's lives. That's what it's all about.
Since you brought that up, is there going to be a Convene 24?
There will be a Convene 24. We're in the process of setting that up. We are probably going to come back to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, because that's where the home of Convene is. Do it in the same place and get some different speakers on the stage, as well as some that were already on the stage. But it's also going to be more focused on training, on teaching people how to use the platform. We'll allow it. We do this Wednesday night podcast. You produce and create the Wednesday night podcast, and I love the format that we're doing because people come on and they tell their story. They talk about who they are. First 20 minutes is all about them. And then the second 20 minutes talks about, shows people what they're doing in the platform. So that's exactly what kind of the format of Convene 24 will be. People will get on stage. They'll talk about what they're doing, and then they will show people, but it'll be more teaching. I might let's say, have you teaching an aspect. You're showing what you're doing, but you're going to take an aspect and you're going to talk about, how you've created modules on how to be a podcaster, for example, and stuff like that. So you'll show people, you'll teach it and all that. So it'll be a very collaborative learning. You see what Amy said, should be in St. Louis.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
I mean,
So,
I could
yes.
seriously abuse you. Take care and support you if you came here to St. Louis.
All right. If y'all take it on and start planning it and you make it happen, we might bring it there. You never know.
Oh,
Convene 25, St. Louis, Missouri. You heard it here first.
whoop, whoop. Look at that. I'm going through puberty again.
Actually, convene 24 and a half. We need to do it. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, we need to do it more than once a year. And so because it's we're going to make it training oriented. So we want people to come in, want people to meet the main people of Convene. We want them to see people speaking about what they're passionate about, why they're doing. Everybody has a story, Doc. Everybody has a reason why they're doing what they do. That's the key is you have a reason, you have a story, you have a passion. Now, can we take that story and that passion and can we turn it into something actionable where you're creating collaborative groups and collaborative learning environments? And so that's what we want to do it. So we really need to be doing, these events multiple times a year because we constantly have new people coming to the platform and want that.
You mentioned the fact that everyone has a story, and you're so right. This is kind of off topic, but it's on topic at the same time. I was interviewed by a young man the other day that Dylan, and he did a fantastic job, and so it's not just for adults. He's 17 years old. He's doing an internship for you. Absolutely. And fantastic young man. What a story that kid has. Holy smokes.
Absolutely. So that's cool. So let's talk about Dylan for a second. He's doing a community inside of Convene called the Adventure Community. He is doing an internship with Convene. He went to the same high school as my son went to, or he goes to the same high school as my son went to. Just a great kid. He is on there. He's getting ready to become an Eagle Scout. What an accomplishment to become an Eagle Scout. That's just amazing. But I asked him in one of our first talks, what are you passionate about? And I was talking to him and showing him Convene. And so now this young man has stepped up and is leading the adventure community. Now, what's the adventure community? We're talking about camping. We're talking about all kinds, whatever it is, adventure-wise that you might do. I wrote a discussion board the other day and put it in there about, I have my 4Runner and I want to outfit it for, camping and stuff like that. See if anybody has that advice. We're just starting to grow that community, but he's taken the lead as a 17-year-old. Well, one of the things that he can do is interview you. Well, why don't you explain why he would want to interview you? What kind of group and what kind of enthusiast in camping are you?
So I became a member of his group there, and I created my own little group. It's called Outdoor Adventures with Doc. And like you said, I love to camp. I love being in the outdoors. There's nothing better for my mental health, I think, than getting out in nature. A lot of times it's by myself, and that's okay. But what I do on my little group is I highlight, I unbox, and I review different products. And hopefully people can learn through my mistakes, because I'm not the vain guy that goes out there and, all right, let me edit this out because I screwed this part up. Nope, you need to see my screw ups. And
and you've been doing that for a while, making videos and doing that for a while. So it wasn't a new thing. You just carried it over and brought it into Convene. And that's what I'm talking about. Right. You might be out there doing something, but we can find a home for you to have more of a collaborative group. And to be honest with you, it's true, because I watched one of your videos on a stove that you were testing, where you tried to smoke yourself out of the tent.
Learn from my mistakes,
Exactly. Which is wonderful, but that's what it's all about. But he interviewed you, and that's one of the things that, he's going to do and get more comfortable with it and keep growing it, is go find people who've done. He's going to do another interview coming up with a guy named Jason Berry, who hiked the whole Appalachian Trail from start to finish, So,
that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. He took a semester off when he was in college, started down in the South and went all the way up into Maine. So I think it starts in Georgia, I think.
Man, that would have taken me. He did it, what, in 6 months?
He did it like in 6 months. Yeah.
About a year and a half later, I'd probably be finished.
We'd come out, you look, beard and all that.
Find me living in a cave somewhere.
Exactly.
And if you like that, folks, I'll be at open mic this Thursday night. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I really appreciate you doing this. We're going to start doing these and we're going to start putting them out. We said, what did we name this thing? Informative minutes. Well, this is about 25 minutes, but I think this is a good one because really, if people will take the time, sit back and watch this, you're going to start to get the feel of what Convene is all about. So we're going to try to narrow down, really get a little bit more pointed in our talks and all that. But this is it. This is what it's all about.
And it's interactive. So that way, if you have a question, just ask it in the group and we can answer it for you immediately.
Exactly. I'll come in, I'll answer it, go into the discussion boards inside of Convene. You can put a comment on the blog. And then if you have a question where you really want to interact, go and put it in the discussion board. Anybody in that's another thing that's cool is again, most of the time in groups or content or other learning management systems, it's all about you. You're the content creator. You put the questions out there, you put the interact. If there's even a way to do that. Well, inside of Convene, I can come in. So if I come in into your group, Doc, and I have a question about a piece of camping gear, I can put it in your discussion board and ask you the question and you respond to me. You're the expert. You're the person I want the information from. And that's different. That's pretty cool, and I think that that's key because now, let's say you've never seen that piece of gear. What are you going to do? You're going to go out and do the research and maybe get it and test it and respond, as you grow that group out. So it's pretty cool. And that's what we want.
I will say one of the, just kind of caveat off of my group is I don't always promote products that I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will tell you if there's a product that is not worth buying.
Yeah.
And I'm really not that shy about it.
Yeah, that's right. Which is good. All right. Well, thanks for doing this. We'll keep doing these, keep knocking them out. So keep checking back and come join Convene. Click on the join Convene up in the corner and come join us. And if you have an idea, if you have a thought, if you have a group, if you go in there and you don't see a community that you're interested in, you have an thought process of maybe leading one. We're always looking for community leaders. That's wonderful. And we're always looking for group leaders to come in and join the communities that are already established and create groups in there. Again, can we create resources and whatever, the different areas that need to be, a collaborative moment. Veterans, we're looking for veteran groups to come in. We really are, you and I, specifically. We want to help out our fellow veterans. So that's a good community. So if you're out there and you're a veteran, come on, let's go.
That's right.
Let's
sign up today. That's right. And you get a free toaster.
Exactly.
Courtesy of Matt.
Exactly.
Till he has to explain to his wife while he's getting rid of the toaster.
Exactly. I only have one. Yeah.
Anyway, Matt, thanks a lot. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this for you guys. And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it.
Peace.